Start off with Romans, 5th chapter. All right. Let's go ahead and clap it up. So I'll say, Shalom Yahweh Yashai Barakatham to all the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alatham Bashem Yashai to all the sisters. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. I'm priest and officer of 5000 Kasar Pakad. It's a Tuesday night brotherhood class for ISUBK Northern California. Tonight's topic will be the culture of the wicked. Romans 5. Before we go ahead, are there any questions anybody might have in the room, online? Don't be afraid to ask questions. Anything on your mind, anything. It don't have to be just a Bible verse. It can be anything about the school, what we believe, what we teach. Goes on. Any questions?
I do have one question actually.
All right, go ahead.
So I just wanted to understand because I have heard different versions of what this verse means, but God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life.
Right.
I want to know the actual meaning of it because I've heard the Christian version
Right.
or other versions and everything, but I just kind of want to know more of a breakdown of it.
No sweat. Go ahead and give me that one. Give me John chapter 3, verse 16. That's a good question. That's one of the most famous precepts. You got it?
Come concept.
Good.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Right. So this one right here, what is, you just want to break down, what's the specific thing that you want to understand?
Whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I want to get more of an understanding about.
Okay. Let's go up a little bit above. Let me get there with y'all. Let's go to, we go John chapter 3, verse 1.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews.
Right. So this is the context of what's going on here. It's a conversation. Christ wasn't on the street just teaching a crowd of people when he said this. It was a message between a Pharisee named Nicodemus, who was a part of a group of people that were going against what Christ was teaching. He was what you would call the religious leaders of the day. Like today, you have the Christian church, like a T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar. Those are the same main two that we always talk about. Forget the other one that died, that was messing with the kids, whatever, man. You know, all these Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, these prominent men profit off of the suffering of black people, and they're able to work with your oppressor to keep us in line, right? And that's what the Pharisees were doing. They had made deals with the Romans, and the Romans were ruling over the Israelites at this time. But Nicodemus, who was a part of them, he came to Christ. So keep reading.
Verse 2. The same came to Jesus by night. Sorry. The same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher. So a teacher come from God. For no man can do these miracles that thou does except God be with him.
Right. So Nicodemus came to Christ in the middle of the night or late at night, not in the daytime, not in front of the crowds where he was teaching. He said, we know that you are a man of God because of the things that you do. I see that you're doing these miracles. Keep going.
God. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
Right. So Christ started explaining these things, and Nicodemus couldn't understand the spiritual things that he was saying. And Christ basically went back and forth. You can read it further. He's saying, you're supposed to be a man of the Lord. How don't you understand these spiritual things that I'm telling you? I'm telling you, you need to be born again of the Spirit. He took it literal, like you have to go back into your mother and come out. But let's drop down to go down to verse 14.
Verse 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
So if you go back into the story of Moses, I believe it's in Numbers, they're talking about when they were coming through the wilderness, there was a certain thing that was plaguing the children of Israel. And these snakes were biting them and they were killing the people. And so Moses was told to get a staff and make a brass serpent and lift it up. And whoever walked underneath it would be saved and wouldn't die and wouldn't be killed. So today you see the modern medical field, they have that staff with the snakes around it, represent medicine. That's where they get it from in the Bible. So when you reread that verse again.
And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
Verse 15.
Verse 15. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish,
but have what?
But have everlasting life.
Right. So at this time, who would be saved by Moses?
everyone that walked under his what do you call it?
His staff, right?
Staff,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, but who was the everyone?
The real Jews,
The Israelites.
Israelites.
Right. So you see how it says whosoever, but it's only talking about Israelites because that's who was there. You see what I'm saying? If I have a party and I'm in here in this room and we're gonna have an after party. I say whosoever want to come to the after party, pull up. I'm not talking about them next door, and I'm not talking about them next door. I don't have to say everyone in this room because I'm talking to a specific group of people in this room. And so when we get further down, let's go down to verse 16. And this is where people get mixed up because, like I said, this is the conversation. He's explaining this is the same way that happened with Moses and the people were saved. This is how I'm going to have to be lifted up. And whosoever comes underneath me is going to be saved, right? But it's him talking to Nicodemus, the leader of the Jews, talking to him about Israelites. There was no concept of Israelites saving other nations. And so that's how the Christian church have broken it down because they don't tell you the full context of the story. We're going to show you some more precepts to go with it, but let's keep going.
Verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son,
Mm-hmm.
that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Right. So we got two things. The word world, that's important. People hear the word world and they think that automatically that means everyone in the world. But you go into the Greek word world here is cosmos. It means age or society. You hear this word to this day. That's one thing about like Greek and Latin. These words get passed down and you'll hear them to this day. Like carne. If you go into Latin, carne means like body, flesh. You hear the Spanish people say carne asada, the flesh of the steak, right? Or someone's being carnal, they're in their flesh. So these words get passed down. Cosmo today, you live in a cosmopolitan area, or you drink a cosmopolitan, cosmos. Women be drinking those, right? So the word cosmos back then meant an age or a society. Like this is a cosmopolitan area. This is a very big city, right? That's the society, right? So long story short is he so loved this world, right? And hold where you at. I'm gonna get Isaiah 45 and 17. Let me show you a different context. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
But Israel
But
shall...
who? Hold on, slow it down. But who?
But Israel...
All nations.
But Israel...
Africans.
But Israel...
The Asians.
But Israel...
The Europeans.
But Israel...
Keep going.
Shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
Right. So this is a precept. He's talking to the children of Israel. These are the precepts that Christ studied. They said what was written aforetime is for our learning. Christ didn't have the New Testament to study from. He studied from the Old Testament. So he's talking to this brother that knows these precepts, that knows the Bible, and has heard about these prophecies. So the Bible is saying that Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. This is the world they're talking about, this nation of people, right? Let's drop that. Let's get Psalms 90 and 2. World doesn't mean just everyone on planet Earth. It has different contexts. You can use the world in one way, you can use it in another way. And they want us to take it as meaning just every human being on earth. We're just going to show you how it's used differently, right?
The book of Psalms, chapter 90, verse 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, or even though hast formed the earth, even though thou hast formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art God.
So there's a difference between the earth and the world, right? So that's another context. Like there's the earth and then there's the world. This is group of people, this society, right? So drop that. Let's go to 1 John 2:16. And then I got a couple more, and then we'll go back to John 3:16. So 1 John 2:16.
The book of 1 John.
Start at 15, so lucky.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world.
Hold on. So the first precept it said, God so loved the world. Now this one is saying love not the world. So if world means everyone on earth, there's either a contradiction or there's a context to the word world, right? So once again,
verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Right. So now, one is talking about this group, the other one is talking about the things of the world, the society or culture that's not the culture of the Israelites. Love not the culture of the heathen, the oppressors, the one that tells you can be LGBT, the one that tells you can have abortions, the ones that can tell you see what I'm saying? It's a different world. And the classic Hebrew breakdown is we hear about different worlds to this day. You got SeaWorld, you got the football world. People talk about you go to the suburbs, you leave the hood and go to the suburbs. People say it's a different world out here. It was a TV show called A Different World because they left from here and they went to college. They're in a different culture, a different group, different society once again. So showing you the context of that. And then lastly, let's go to what I want to think is Acts chapter 2. Or is it Romans chapter 2, verse 21? Yep. Let's go to Acts chapter 2, verse 21. All right, before we break this down, we've heard of the Constitution, right? In the Constitution, they say all men are created equal. We hold these truths to be so that all men are created equal. But at that time, was that the truth? Even to this day, it's not true. But how do we know it's not true, sis?
We know it's not true.
When they wrote it.
When they wrote it, because there was a lot of separation amongst men.
Specifically for us, what was our conditions?
I mean, we were in slavery.
Okay. Well, sign Christ. This is the thing. So when they wrote that, did they know we were in slavery at that time?
No.
The people that wrote it didn't know that we were in slavery?
In their minds, they didn't think we were in slavery. They just didn't really think of us as, we weren't important to them, I guess is a good way to put it.
Right.
But I don't.
They knew we were in slavery because they had us enslaved as slaves. You see what I'm saying? The George Washington, all those different people, they owned slaves. They knew we were men, you know what I mean? But they said all men are created equal because they were not talking about us.
Right.
They were talking about themselves and their group. You see what I'm saying? No different, like I said, this party. Whosoever in here, I don't have to say in here, whosoever want to go to the after party, let's go. We're going over there to my house. I don't have to say whosoever, Richmond, California, McDonald Avenue 2213, whosoever is in this room, in this building right now, come. I'm just talking to this group of people. Y'all know who I'm talking to. They were talking to Edomites and oppressors, and they didn't have to say all Edomite men are created equal. It was, you don't have to, what they said before, you don't have to what's understood don't got to be explained, right? So that was the mindset of them, and that's the mindset of the children of Israel. We never had a concept of dealing with other nations. They wouldn't even allow you to come into our house. If you hear about that, the story in Peter, when Peter was dealing with the Cornelius, he was an Israelite, but he wouldn't even go into his house or let him come into his house because he was dealing with the Gentiles or the heathens. So you think we were gonna understand these precepts that Christ is talking about saving them when they weren't even allowed to come into our homes? You see what I mean? So it just wouldn't even be in our mind to think this way. I'm gonna show you this one right here. Let's go ahead.
The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 22, sorry?
Start at 21.
The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever
We see this word again. Whosoever. Keep going.
shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Right. So this is what your pastor, he's going to stop right here. And he's going to say, you know, whosoever. See, I told you this. Whosoever, anybody in the world that believe in the name of Jesus can come and get under the blood and be saved in the covenant. Read it again one more time from the top.
The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 21. And whosoever come to pass, and it shall come to pass
Right.
that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Read.
Verse 22. Ye men of Israel.
Who?
Ye men of Israel.
This is who he's talking to. This is the context once again. Ye men of Israel. Whosoever of the children of Israel, if you follow Christ, you're going to be saved.
Right.
This is who salvation is for. All right. So now we go back to John 3:16. We're going to put it all together.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
Right. So now, if you hear it in this way, God so loved blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
Right.
God so loved the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
He loved the tribe of Benjamin. He loved the tribe of Ephraim. He loved the tribe of Manasseh, the tribe of Asher, the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Issachar. God so loved the children of Israel. Keep going.
That he gave his only begotten son.
Right.
That whosoever believeth in him.
That whosoever of the children of Israel believeth in him. Keep going.
Should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Right. So now, this whosoever, once again, is not in that mind state. If you take that out of thinking of all nations, and now it's just dealing with the children of Israel, then you see us as how we are today. How we are today, we're people that need salvation. We're people that gangbang like no other. We're people that kill and rob and murder each other like no other, and steal from each other, connive and backbiting. You see what I'm saying? Talk down, light against dark, fat against skinny, tall against short, everybody old against young. Like, you don't hear about Edomites like these young white boys, we young niggas. You always hear that from older black people, these young niggas, and you hear the young cat, these old niggas, I can't stand these old niggas. You see what I'm saying? It's a war amongst us. And so General Muhammad did a breakdown, and a brother can send it to you. He broke it down way better than I could. But what he's saying is that the whosoever is that murderer that felt like he would never be forgiven. That person that is a Norteño, is a Soreño, is a Crip or a Blood, a GD or a Vice Lord, is from the MS-13, man. That's that whosoever. That person that thought no one would ever accept them again. No one would ever forgive them, that the Lord hates them. They've done these things that are so vicious and evil, sold drugs. These sisters that have had abortions, that feel like, you know what I'm saying, God hates them, their family hates them. You know, people that have been to prison. This is that whosoever that he's talking about. So read it one more again from the top.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
For God so loved the world
Mhm.
that he gave his only begotten son,
Right.
that whosoever,
The murderer,
that
the
whosoever,
person that had an abortion,
that whosoever,
the drug dealer,
that whosoever,
the prostitute,
that whosoever,
the pimp.
that whosoever,
You understand what I'm saying? All these people that have done these things, that whosoever, go ahead.
believeth in him.
Right, they're gonna change their life. Faith without works is dead.
Right.
If you believe in Christ, you're gonna do the things that He wants you to do. You're gonna follow in His way. You're gonna put away that old man that you were, that old woman that you were, and become anew. This is what He's talking about. This is what He's telling this brother one-on-one. Once again, Officer Karak broke this down and really opened my eyes. I've heard it 1,000 times, but he said this wasn't no Martin Luther King speech. God so loved the world, or whosoever. He talking to him one-on-one, man. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and whoever believeth in him shall have everlasting life. Like, this is what I'm here for. This is the mission that I'm here to do, is that so we can get it together, man. If y'all want to follow me, we can go have everlasting life. And that's not eternal life, meaning you're going to live forever. Life in the Bible, life and death. Death in the Bible is dying a horrible death. Dying, when you 15. Like, I know this brother talk about your cousin, you know what I'm saying? The brother that got killed. My cousin that got killed 21 times, got shot 21, 23 times around the corner from our house. 23 years old. My grandma could hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is death. We want to have everlasting life where you live a long time, gray hair, see your kids, your grandkids growing up, and then they get to live in that kingdom, and their kids grow up not having to die like that, die of AIDS, die of this and die of that, all these things that come with being in the world and being oppressed. That's the life that they're saying. We're going to live in rulership. We're going to have the kingdom of heaven in earth. You know what I mean? So that was pretty much it. I don't know if you have any more questions. You can still ask anything to be clear. Don't, you know what I mean? It's not about time. If that, it's what?
Wow.
All right, what's our question? Yeah, that's a very famous precept, man. Most people got it tattooed. They talk about it in shows and movies. I remember I was watching this TV show. It was these Edomites, and basically he was a big mega pastor, like the Edomite version, like Joel Osteen. But he was, the whole family was scamming. It's a comedy show. But somehow they had an uncle come in. He was a pastor. They hired him because they needed him. But he ended up leaving and taking some money and ran off. So they needed to replace him. And they sit in the room with a bunch of people that work for the church. And he just pointed to the random black dude. He said, Earl, what's John 3:16? He said, God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. He said, bam, you got the job. He put him as head pastor. All you need to know is that one precept, you know what I'm saying? He said, you got the job. You know what I mean? Because that's what they want you to believe is like a trick. They keep you in this box. It sounds good. It sounds like what they want you to hear. It sounds like what you would think it's saying. But if you don't really know the full story, you coming in right in the middle of it, and you taking it for not saying you either, but that's how we've been taught. So, go ahead.
And if I may, sir, what you're saying is so heavy because it's also a way. It's like a to mind playing. Because now when you hear that from what he's saying, this is the person you trust.
Right.
Grandma love him. Everybody say he know what he's talking about. So when you hear him say, guess what? Now you think that Asian man who killed Natasha in that store, you gotta love him now. You know what I mean? You gotta love him regardless of what he did to you. And that was just the way for the oppressor to continue to oppress us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Cops that killed what's the oppressor that killed the brother and went in his house, went in the wrong
the Ralph dude. I don't know the dude's name, but
when she went into the wrong apartment, killed this man in his house.
Oh no, you talking about Botham Jean. There's too many stories like this. Yeah.
But his brother got off the stand and told him, said, all you want to do is give her a hug.
Right.
You know what I mean? Gave her a hug, and she burned his brother. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave her a hug. The judge stroking her hair, and that's just this is what he read before he went to that trial.
Right. Right. And yep, it is very convenient, you know what I mean, for oppressors to teach it like that. What's the other one? Love your enemies, you know what I mean? Love your enemies was telling us to love our enemies in our community. Forgive your brother. It's not, you can't get a nation together and go to take over the world. Because that's what we all had wanted. The kingdom of heaven to the Israelites was us taking over the world. Matter of fact, give me my precept, Acts chapter 6. Or is it 1 and 6? I think it's 1 and 6. Acts 1 and 6. Yep. And we'll go ahead and get to tonight's topic after this. But this is the mind state that they had. They dealt with Christ. They sat with Christ. They learned under Christ, the apostles and the disciples. And they knew he taught about the kingdom to come. And it was not this place that we go to after we die, where we sitting up in heaven with Tupac and Biggie and your grandma having a gangster party. You know what I'm saying? That's not what was going on. Go ahead.
God. The book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom of Israel?
Right. We're a nation of people that are under the Romans. The Romans coming and bullying us, taking tax money from us. You working and you getting your fish. When the Romans come up, soldiers, they like, yeah, I need, you just got 10 fish today, I'm gonna need 8 of them. That's taxes. You know what I mean? Like Debo. Like straight shake down. But I thought you got a change. I thought you got $200, Debo. Yeah, I want to spend Matthew's money. You know what I'm saying? I want to spend John's money. I want to spend, you know what I mean? I want to spend Luke's money. Like they coming through like Debo and just taking things from us because we had gone to war with them and lost. And they conquered our nation and made us pay taxes to them, made us, change our leadership. That's why they had to go to Pontius Pilate. That's not a nation of free people where you got an issue. Our law says we're going to put them to death, even if right or wrong. They had an issue and they wanted to put Christ to death, but they had to go get permission from Pontius Pilate because they couldn't do anything without their say-so. There's a movie called The King of New York back in the days. It was Edomite. And he told the dudes, he said, if anything goes down in New York, if it's a Kia cocaine or a nickel bag gets sold in the park, I want in. Like, I need a piece of that. And that's just how the Romans, the mafia, you think about the Italian mafia, it's the same spirit. Think about the mafia, that's the Romans today. There's the Italians, they just come in, bunch of niggas over there. We need some of that. Give us some of that. You know what I mean? Don't listen to them. We're going to take everything from them. So that's how it was. And these people is enslaved like we are today. And they have a leader, this king, this Messiah that's supposed to come and save us and give us salvation and put our enemies to death. You understand what I'm saying? Deliver us from evil. You know what I mean? And so that's why they come into Christ. Christ had risen from the dead and came back and started teaching them. And they run into Christ asking them, like, is this the time you're going to restore the kingdom to Israel? Are we going to be the kings in rulership? Are we going to be the ones that get taxes from them now and not them from us? You see what I mean? So that's the mind state of the kingdom of heaven. It was not this, thing that they keep telling us. All right, but let's go ahead to Romans chapter 5. Verse 13, about the shot. All right. This the whole Bible all connects. So this is kind of even on topic, man. The title, once again, is The Culture of the Wicked. America is a culture that is completely opposite of the Bible. Everything that this Bible stands for, this place goes against and promotes. That's how you know we're in an evil place. Because, like I said, the Lord says, don't eat pork. Every restaurant's top menu item is adding bacon on top of it. They want to put bacon wraps, jalapenos, bacon on your burger, bacon inside the burger, bacon on top of donuts. My line, anybody heard? Y'all heard of bacon on donuts? You know what I mean? Like their culture is opposite of our culture, and they do it to the max. Homosexuality, you know what I mean? Our book says it's an abomination. You can do more in America now if you follow that lifestyle. You're gonna get raised up. We getting rank raises for doing good work in America. As long as you do these abominations, you're gonna get a rank raise in America. You're gonna get lifted up. Dwayne Wade's son getting lifted up for wanting to be a girl. He didn't do anything else. The boy, we don't even know if that nigga can read or write. We don't know if the boy knows 2 timetables or nothing. His other brother could be excellence. 4.0 student, excellent basketball player. Like, could you imagine being at the house? You're like, yeah, I come home on time. I got a 4.0 GPA. And Zion, I think his name is Zion. They call him Zaya now. This nigga put on a dress and he triple platinum. He over on every magazine. He's on news articles. He's over here getting praised. All of this, he didn't even do anything that's worth honor or praise. And that's how America is, you know what I mean, to this day. So let's go ahead and read.
You said Romans 17, sir?
Let's go to Matthew. Oh, no, second. I'm all over the place too. Romans chapter 5 and verse 13.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Romans, chapter 5, verse 13. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law.
Right. So, keyword, I'm going to go ahead and look it up on my phone real quick, is imputed right here. Do you want to take a shot at this one, Doc?
Imputed meaning implemented, like
or just the whole precept more saying like
just break it down.
Yeah, you want to take a shot at it? You can.
All right, so for until the law, sin was in the world. So until the law came, sin was all around us.
Right.
It was everywhere. And it says, but sin is not imputed when there is no law. Meaning, if there was not a law, there would be no sin.
Okay. Let me see. You go ahead. Go this.
I agree with what you say. But I think the ending part where it says, but sin is not inputted when there is no law. It means there can't be considered a sin if there's no laws to consider the sin. I mean,
Right. So both of y'all are correct to a point, but the context. I'm gonna read the definition of imputed. Right, to lay the responsibility or blame for something, often falsely or unjustly. So now read it again one more time.
The book of Romans, chapter 5, verse 13. For until the law, sin was in the world.
Right.
But sin is not imputed when there is no law.
Right. So on topic tonight is the culture of the wicked, right? Your oppressor lives in a nation and a culture that is without law. The law was not given to them. Matter of fact, give me that Psalms 147 and 19, right? So the law was not given to them. So in their mind, the things that they're doing are not evil. Go ahead.
So one thing you said that was so true earlier was Dwayne, his son being praised for doing nothing.
Right.
I felt the same thing about the Kardashians' dad, the Jenner gentleman.
Right.
You remember he got that award and did nothing for it, and they gave him an award of praise.
I remember the award, but what was it? Go ahead and say it. Remember what it was?
It was like the the award of excellence for women or something. It was something like
Good.
that.
Good.
If I may,
Mhm.
a womanitarian award was
It was the Woman of the Year award.
Woman of the year. Yes.
The devil got the Woman of the Year award. He had been a woman for 13 days. You know what I mean? He been a woman for 44 hours, and he ain't a woman. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Jeremiah, like, hold on. And he's not even a goddamn woman. But in their mind state, he's saying he became a woman. So let's just take that for face value. He is a woman. What did you do as a woman to become Woman of the Year?
Exactly. Right.
My grandma then got up early in the morning for 45 years in a row straight, cooked breakfast on the dot, 7 o'clock, then washed clothes, then done all that. She don't get Woman of the Year award. She get fired. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She get laid off. Well, what are some other things that some sisters have done that has been excellent inventions? Sisters helped them get to the moon. They ain't get the Woman of the Year award. Madam C.J. Walker, the first black millionaire, first woman millionaire. There wasn't even an Edomite woman that was a millionaire. This sister come 20 years out of slavery and it made $1 million. Not $1 million in today's currency, $1 million in back then. You know what I mean? When a loaf of bread was a nickel.
Right.
She had $1 million back then. Have y'all seen her house? I'll show y'all pictures of her house, man. But was you looking at something?
So like, if I may, so I can just imagine, it probably look like them slave quarters that we saw in North Carolina.
I'm talking about the one she built though when she had her money. Yeah.
I like a massive house.
Man, that house is ridiculous. Let me see. I wish I could share it on the screen of here. But it's still here to this day, and I don't know who. Someone Precious probably got it.
Yep.
So they got pictures of her. They had a party for her daughter's wedding, I believe. That's a picture of all the brothers and sisters out there. You can show your rib as well. Look at that house. This is why they hated Black Wall Street. This is why they hated us. They're like, how in the hell we didn't teach these people how to read, write? We enslaved them, we beat them, we raped them. And this is 19, 20, 40 years or so after slavery. And these niggas is building homes like this, having parties and functions like this. We can't have this. You see what I'm saying? But that's how, like you said, like, she's not gonna get Woman of the Year. This oppressor can just put on a dress and some lipstick and get Woman of the Year because they want to make a culture that's anti the Bible. It's like that's where they get their plays from. You ever had like a bad kid, or they played a little games with you, or reverse day? I remember we used to play that like in middle school, or like reverse day. If you say I hate you, that means I love you. If you say I love you, that means I hate you. It's like if you tell that kid to sit down, they're gonna stand up. You know, whatever opposite that you say. You know what I mean? You can damn near trick them to sit down by telling them to stand up. That's how the oppressor looks at the Bible. They're like, look, what did the Lord say today? Okay, no pork. Give more pork. Bring in the pork. Bring in the swine. Okay, what else did he say? No shrimp. Did y'all know shrimp is the most valuable animal in the sea? Lobster is a delicacy. It's $50 for a little piece of lobster. Don't you want some? You can't have some because you broke, nigga. When you get some money, come holler at me and you can get you some lobster. You see what I'm saying? They put the things that the Lord hates in high regard. And their culture is based around being opposite of ours because they're ruled by Satan. That's why we say that the devil, the Bible speaks of. They're the deceiver. Devil means deceiver or liar. He's tricking you into believing something that's wrong is right, and something that's right is wrong. For you to love whosoever your only nation, that's wrong. That's evil. You evil for believing that. Doesn't it sound great and nice and glorious to love all nations, all people? That sounds good. What does it get us? It gets us destroyed and at the bottom, right? So once again, in this one, that these heathens, though, they don't believe, they don't have the law, they weren't given the law. And so the things that they're doing, they don't see them as evil. Even with like Moabites, the so-called Chinese, they treat their people horribly. You go to their nation, I mean, you couldn't pay me money to want to be the person that makes Jordans for us. The person that made your PlayStation or made this laptop is in China right now in slavery underneath their own people, working 18-hour shifts a day, getting paid $0. You know what I mean? They 8 years old, and that's how they making laptops and cell phones and all this child labor. We were in Arizona. You know, I went there for a couple of months, and the corporation that we were working for was called TSMC, Taiwanese Semiconductors, and they had all the money, $40 billion invested in building this chip factory in America. So all of us, the blacks and Hispanics, are the ones doing the construction and getting the building built up. But they had a special parking lot closer to the front. If you park your car in there, you're gonna get towed. You have to work for TSMC. And everybody that worked for TSMC was Taiwanese. So you got a bunch of Asians running around. They don't speak English. They got on construction hats, but don't do construction work. And they're going around inspecting everything. Oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? They looking and taking pictures. You over there trying to chill out and take a little break. They come over, take a picture. They tell you in another language, you're doing this wrong. They have somebody come over here and translate. Okay, we need you to tie this like this and do that. But anyway, what I'm saying is we sitting there talking. We like, damn, okay, we making pretty good money. I wonder how much are they making? We get to thinking like, man, they probably ain't making nothing. That Taiwanese government probably sent them over here and said, you better go over and do that work. We're going to kill your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, them countries don't give a damn about their own people. They use them, they take, and they don't feel in their mind to do anything evil, because what is evil if there is no law to call it evil? America, they don't look at being LGBT as something wrong. They don't look at child molestation as wrong. If you go back to the Greek culture, they used to be in the Roman army, the Spartans and all that. They used to have to deal with the young boy and bring him into the army, and that's how they feel like they raise them up right and lead them. And so their culture, it's not evil to them. They won't, pretty soon they won't look at child molestation as being wrong. You see what I mean? It just be, oh, that's just what happened to you. That's what, you weren't molested. It's just an older person liked you. You know what I mean? Well, go ahead, sis.
Sir, so just something I just want to share
Mm-hmm.
that I noticed today, not to give too much information, but I did run across an Asian lady.
Mm-hmm.
And she was Chinese, but she was watching videos on her phone today. And I noticed that the video she was watching, it was biblical videos.
Okay.
But they were all the oppressors. There was no kind of Asians or Black descents in the videos. It was all the oppressors, and it surprised me because the whole show was in Chinese.
Right.
And it blew my mind, but it just kind of opened my eyes and let me see that,
Not something you. I was saying
you know, other cultures and other people believe in the oppressor being, God.
Okay. I'm gonna say two things. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, just to reiterate what she's saying, basically, the woman, the heathen was a Christian.
Right.
And she was watching like the Passion of Christ.
Right.
Everything's in Chinese, but they are white.
Right. Right. So it's two things I can say about that. Are they as brainwashed as we are and really believe in the oppressor? Me personally, I don't think so. The reason why I say that is because after 9/11, y'all remember how these Edomites hated the Arabs. What would you see the Arabs starting to do after 9/11? They have American flag. They have, you know what I'm saying? They celebrating 4th of July. They like, oh, buddy. You ask them, where are you from? I'm from Brooklyn. No, you're not from Brooklyn, man. That accent is not from Brooklyn. No, I'm from Harlem. 122nd Street. That's where I'm from, my friend. I'm from East Oak, deep east. I'm from the hundreds. I'm from the rolling hundreds. No, nigga, you're not. No, Muhammad, you're not. You know what I'm saying? They try to blend in. You go to the house, sometimes I'm delivering Amazon, so I go, there's some damn Moabites in there, but they got an American flag in the front. Like, they are trying to not get deported. They're trying to not get their eyes watched on them. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the spirit of how they do Christianity. It's like, okay, look, I agree. I don't care. You see what I'm saying? But behind closed doors, they still worship Buddha. They still follow their culture. And how do we know it's true? It's because their whole culture is set up to go against America. Why would you, if you love white Jesus, why are you building Chinatown? Why aren't you, you know what I'm saying, opening it up for everybody? Why aren't you giving money to the black community? You see what I'm saying? Because this is what I always say about Christians. They can sit here and battle and say, God loves everybody. We say he only loves Israelites. Okay, we can do that all day. We're going to prove you, cut you to pieces and show you that's not true. But let me just say I agree with you. Let's say God does love everybody. You go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 3. I'll pull it. Go ahead. Matthew 5 and 3. For time's sake, just trying to get it real quick. You don't gotta. It's not. I'm just giving a paraphrase of it, just a quick. I'm not trying to really break it down, but
the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed are the poor.
Oh.
Are the poor.
One more time.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Right. So Christ's whole mission was coming to heal the sick, heal the blind, right, feed the poor, go to those in prison. He said all these missions, you know what I'm saying, of his people to do. So who is the most poor other than blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans?
Right.
Who's the most in prison other than the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Like, even if you believe God loved all nations, your mission as a Christian should be to help blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians first anyway. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you a Christian, you believing in this white Jesus as a Moabite, but you really don't believe in Christ anyway because you hate black people. You hate poor people. You only help your people. You really hate white people. So, you know what I mean? So it can't be that you really believe in this. It's just it's a way for them to blend in. They try to blend in with us. I mean, not us, but, Americans. Go ahead.
I agree with you 100%. I noticed when we had the whole Black Lives Matter, all of a sudden I'm driving into Walnut Creek. We got everybody out there protesting. All these people I've never seen in my life before, right, that I know good and well don't promote Black lives. Right. But 4 Asian people get attacked. Right. And they got China and everybody coming in and saying Asian lives matter. And pretty much making threats saying that we need more protection. And then I'm driving in Oakland, and now I drive by Chinatown. They got cop cars on each corner, right, protecting everybody in Chinatown. But what about the blacks, the Hispanics, the Native Americans? They're not doing that, and it's terrible because honestly, we don't have a nation to really fall back on. Right, it's us. They have a nation to fall back on. So when things go wrong with them, they have a whole nation to back them up. Right. And but we only have us. Right. And that's why we have to identify with a nation. Exactly. We don't have any power because we don't have a nation. And the key to a nation, the first step in the starting a nation is a constitution. Right. Every nation in the world, you go to Africa, you go to China, you go to they're going to have a constitution to start their nation. And it's a set of laws that everyone has to follow. And that's why we say being an Israelite is not a religion. It's not some spiritual, mystical thing that we're doing. We are a nation of people that have rules, and our rules come from our God, and our God has had men write this book, and it doesn't change. And this is how we rule our nation, is with this book. And I remember Officer Karate said it to me, explained to me as a young officer in the school, might have been a trooper. He was like, if you go to a stop sign and you stop when it's red and go when it's green, slow down when it's yellow. You see the speed limit on the freeway says
65 and you go 65. If you know what I'm saying, go in the store and it says don't steal and you don't steal, are you in a religion? No. You just obeying the laws of the land. That's what we're doing. You know what I mean? We're not a religion. We're just following the laws of our God, right? So let's go to Psalms chapter 10, verse 4. Yeah. Matter of fact, well, you had Psalms 147, right?
Go
Go ahead and read that one before we go to the next one.
The book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel.
Right.
Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Right.
And as for his judgment, they have not known them.
Right. So the Lord didn't deal with any other nation. He didn't give his laws, statutes, commandments to them, and he's just treating them like animals.
Right.
What raises us up to be the rulers of the earth is giving us these laws. That's where our power comes from. And that's what's so, it seems so simple coming into the truth. You be like, damn, this whole black people as a nation, we could take over this thing. Everybody watching the NBA finals, we're watching the games, we seeing how great Israelites are as a nation. But all that money and billions of dollars goes to the heathens. And it's like the reason why is because we don't have a nation for them to come and work for. Like, we can't send them to the Olympics. Steph got to play for USA.
Right.
Whoever else is great got to play for USA in the Olympics because we don't have a nation for them. Go ahead and read that one more time. Let the sister hear that one.
The book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 20.
You start at verse 19.
Verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
He showeth his word unto Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgment, they have not known them.
Right. So the Lord didn't deal with any other nation. He gave his laws, statutes, and commandments to the children of Israel. So going back to that culture, they don't even look at themselves as being evil because they don't believe in God. Right. Like, what is evil if you don't believe in a God? You can have all the abortions you want to because who's telling you it's wrong? You see what I mean? There's nothing to say that is wrong. And that's why these laws are important. They are a guidance to what is right and what's wrong. Let's go to Psalms chapter 10 and verse 4.
The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts.
Right. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, that's like his look. Your countenance is your look. The pride, he feels that he has a look and a spirit on himself that nothing can stop him. Right? And so, what does it say? They will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. Read verse 5.
Verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above. Thy judgments are fair above out of his sight.
Right.
As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
Right. So the wicked, the judgments of the Lord are out of his sight. They're not even on his mind. Right. Like, this is amazing to me when you really come into the truth, when you start to, open your eyes and to think that all of the bad things that happen, coming to the truth, something happened, you be like, damn, okay, am I doing something wrong? I need to change something. You know what I mean? Is this that? Like, you have a conscience now. You knowing the laws and know that there's punishments for breaking the law. If you do something, you know that something can happen to you for doing it. Right. But this is not even in the minds of our oppressors. Like 9/11, they didn't wake up in the morning and be like, well, damn, maybe we are treating the Arabs wrong. We have been stealing their oil for 200 years. We have been trying to take their women and turn them into whores. You know, one brother was saying that they was going to war with them at one point in time. I think the fake Jewish people and the Palestinians, and they dropped pornography books over the wall of their people. They turn on the TV. You turn on the TV on Saturday morning to watch Tom and Jerry. And you know how the Islam is. You know, they put on the facade of being holy and righteous or whatever and praying 5 times a day. But they definitely don't have those things on TV like that. Like they don't have women just in the bikini selling Budweiser and stuff like that. It's not a part of their culture to see this. You turn on the TV to watch your regular show, and it's pornography on the TV. They hacked the whole TV station and put porn on the whole nation because they want to corrupt the minds of the people and make them. So it's like, even if the little kid, he would have never saw it in his life, but now when he get older, he's trying to find the phone that allow him to get this because they want to pervert their nation of people. That's how they are. They don't think in their mind, oh, 9/11 happened because of something we did. They just think, oh, we got to go kill every last one of them. They don't think when a tornado hits the town or earthquake happens that maybe how we're treating blacks and Latinos is wrong, and this is why these things are happening to us. It doesn't even cross their mind because reread it again. Read verse 5.
Come.
10 and 5. Psalms 10 and 5. No, sir.
The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 5. His ways are always grievous.
Mm-hmm.
Thy judgments are far above out of his sight.
Or like he can't even think he can be touched. Nothing that he does, it's out of his mind, out of his sight. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
Right. So a few years ago, there was a guy, his name was Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi was over a nation called Libya in Africa. And he was seen as a Arab of strength or African Arab. I think he's like kind of half and half, like half Hamite, half Arab. I don't know whether his mom was Hamite and his father was Arab or whatever. He's part of that mixed group of people up there in North Africa. Right. But anyway, his mind state was to go against America and empower his people. He had things in place like as soon as you become 18, you get your own land, you get your house, education was free, medicine was free, all these different type of things. You can go down the list. Like to be a Libyan, it was great in that culture because Libya has a lot of oil fields. So they get a lot of money. They were taking money from the oil fields and not just fattening their pockets. They was splitting it up with their people, showing love to their people. And the one thing he wanted to do to make more money is America's currency is the dollar, and they call it the petrodollar. And how you buy oil or petrol is through the American dollar. So if you in Afghanistan and you want to sell oil to Exxon, the way that transaction goes is they got to use the American dollar. They got to change their Arab money into American dollars and then buy it from you like Bitcoin or something. You know what I mean? Transfer your coins. So Gaddafi said, I'm going to change that dollar and go to the gold standard and tell America, I got oil. Libya is rich in oil. We got billions and billions of dollars of oil. We're not accepting your fake dollar no more as a piece of paper. Don't give me that fake paper. Give me gold. I want gold for my oil, which is going to make me really rich. So what America do? They went and put a hit out on this nigga, this heathen. You know what I'm saying? They took the nation and took over it, killed him. They raped Gaddafi on camera in front of the whole world. They had the soldiers were putting poles into Gaddafi. You know what I'm saying? Beating him to death and all that. Like they puffeth up at their enemies. That's what this precept is saying right here. Like anybody want to mess with Saddam Hussein the same way. He was strong in the Arab world. They hung him in front of everyone. And man, when I was watching Captain Soccer War, he was talking about this. He was like, man, I was thinking about this too. He was like, you've seen this happen on TV. You can go on TV, you can see a black man get killed and murdered on TV. They killed what's his name? Eric Garner on TV. They killed George Floyd on TV. They killed Philando Castile on TV. You know what I mean? Like, you can go and see it. You can see Saddam Hussein getting hung in front of the world. He's like, I don't really know where I can go to see Edomite getting killed. I don't think I've ever seen it. And when he said that, I'm like, damn, I'm trying to think my damn self. All these school shootings, I haven't seen no oppressor get killed on TV. You can go online and see Israelites, the so-called Mexicans, chopping each other's heads off, all of that. You can go find those videos. I don't even know where to go to see Edomites getting killed. I'm like, damn, that's heavy. And it's true. You know what I mean? I really don't know. I can't think of no police situations, really. I can't really think of two. You know what I mean? It's just not done. They can kill us and it be glorified, but you just won't even see. Even them killing themselves, you just don't really see it. So once again, it says in verse 5, starting at the end, as for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Read verse 6.
Verse 6. He hath said in his heart, which is his mind,
Right.
I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversary.
Right. I'll never be in adversity. Nothing's ever going to happen to me. I can do whatever I want. I can live however I want. There's no laws I got to follow. And we follow after him. And this is how we get the culture that we have today.
Right.
Like, when you think you listen to these songs, and this song, this nigga talking about kill him, bust his head open, blah, 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 smoking on, took it, riding on the ops, all this type of things. That's not our culture.
Right.
We came out of slavery like Madam C.J. Walker. They wasn't talking about, damn, another nigga to do all that. They was like, man, you need some help, brother?
Right.
You need some sugar, you knocking on my door? Don't take 2 cups. You need 2 cups. Take 4 cups. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
If I may, sir, a good song for everyone to listen to would be like Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit.
Right.
Because she speaks about that, and you know that lets you know real music opposed to what we're listening to now.
Right. Get us just a hand for that, man. Exactly, man. That real music is not what they want us to have. They change. They don't pay brothers to fight the power or anything like that anymore. They want us to make songs about destroying each other, and we think it's us, but it's really their culture. We're trying to be like them. That whole mindset of not caring about someone else, not caring what happens to them, going and sliding on your enemies, that's your oppressor's culture. That's what he was known for, the Italian mafia, all that. Like I said, they don't care about their own people, and they really don't care about other nations, you know what I mean, that are not their people. But we can't not be like that. When we take the culture of the wicked, it destroys us. When they push this culture, it uplifts them. You know what I mean? They don't have to. The precept, he said, the judgments, they have not known them. Like, we have to know the judgments of the Lord. When we live evil, we have to deal with these consequences. And it stops us. Like, someone can come from China and sell heroin and open up all the Panda Expresses in America. Panda Express probably got started with heroin money. You would never know. But a nigga try to do it, and you're going to be in prison. You're going to be on San Quentin Express. You're going to be having Panda Express. You're going to be straight express to cell block 4. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen to you. So we can't do the things that they do to make it. There's only one way for us to make it, and it's through righteousness. They got the past. It's like a demon or whatever is allowing them, you know what I mean, to profit in their evil. But we know in the end, the Lord is going to deal with them, and we're going to be raised up. So let's read verse 7.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
Right. That sounds like rap music once again to this day. Like
Exactly.
cursing, not cursing saying 4-letter words, cursing meaning I'm wishing death on somebody. I'm praying for this to happen to them. I'm ready to do this evil thing to them. Like that's not us. That's them. You know what I mean? We learn from them. And so give me Jeremiah chapter 10. I think we're gonna go to start at verse 2. We got specific rules. Like every time we try to be someone else, it backfires. I'll say that's one thing they do get right. They tell you all these things in school that you hear the same cliches over and over. Just be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself. We just don't know who we are.
Right.
That's the evil. That's the evil of taking someone's identity away from them. I think I gave a ride to someone in Uber before. She was a Moabite and she was talking about her sister. I think her sister was married to some man, and the man was, abusive to her. And the sister didn't know whether to leave him or to stay. And she was like, I was just telling my sister, like, you got to know who you are in order to make the decision that you need to make. And I'm not giving a damn about her sister or whatever is going on in her mind. But in my mind, I'm just thinking like, damn, like, in order for us to make the right decision, we have to know who we are. And us not knowing who we are is why we keep going into destruction. Like you saying this nigga is a vice lord. This nigga is a BD and I'm a GD. But you're not saying this is a brother from the tribe of Judah. And I'm from the tribe of Judah, and that's my cousin. Right. We have the same forefather. Right. You don't say that in your mind. You saying this brother's from Stubby and this brother's from Case. Right. But you don't say that both of our families come from Mississippi, and before that we come from the tribe of Judah. And we was riding on the boats together. We was living in the same person, not same city. Nigga, we was living in the same person. We come from the same loins. Right. You have children. And imagine 100 years you come from, God forbid. Just think of it in that mindset. I got a son. Everybody knows Zion. He run through it, tearing things up left and right. Now I have Zion, and then he ended up having two sons. His one son, we're gonna name him Kassar. We're gonna name the other son Karak. You got Kassar and Karak. You know what I mean? And as time goes on, they go in this direction, and this one goes in this direction. And eventually, they start fighting each other. Right. Me as a grandfather, how do I look at that? I don't celebrate when Kassar's sons kill Karak's sons. Right. They both my grandchildren. You see what I'm saying? Like, it hurt. And then I don't celebrate when Karak killed one of Kassar's, you know what I mean? Like, it's a loss for me, you know what I'm saying? And I would hate to see that. So that's how you have to look at us being Israelite. Like our grandfather, his name was Israel. He cares about all the 12 tribes. He doesn't think of, this is the Issachar versus Judah or Benjamin versus Ephraim. Nah, nigga, that's my son. I want to see y'all do better. You know what I mean? And so without that culture and that understanding, we keep destroying each other. So we have to know who we are. We have to have our identity, know where we come from. Go ahead, please.
Sir, just to think of the line back off of what you're saying, it's lucky. I know some brothers who grew up, in the town that grew up best friends. Mm-hmm. And then once the Stubby and Case and all that stuff started coming around, because of where they stayed and the crowd that they hang around with, where they stayed instead of at school, right? They killing each other. Right. Straight in, like, it's up. Yeah. Just because me and you was at school one time, because you live on 98th and I live on 73rd, and right. Stubby and you Case. Now when we see each other, we shooting at each other. It's crazy. Got sleepovers. Right. Yeah. Like sleepovers. Right. That's crazy. Like when you say it like that, you know what I mean? Like nigga, we really, my mama know your mama. Exactly. They like aunties, niggas damn near cousins. My sister that married your brother, right. And now we funking.
That's the same thing, man. Like, you know, which one really messed me up is EPA. Back in the days, how EPA was like. EPA is a small ass city, and for them niggas to be funking like how they were funking, it's like, come on, man. It ain't even got like at least. Oh, and it's kind of different schools. Sometimes you can go to. These, this is only one school y'all go to. Like, y'all niggas really know each other. Y'all, this is a little ass town, but y'all really beefing. And that's, you know, for a lack of identity. You take this identity of this block instead of this identity as a nation of people. You know what I mean? And we can never become greater because we are so small minded. That's because it was stripped of us. Now we getting our culture back. You know what I'm saying? And get yourselves in here. You know what I'm saying? And as we say that Passover, you know what I mean? All these feast days we have is giving us a culture back, and it's glorious and it's beautiful, man. Like, this is not a light thing. This is just a small class on Tuesday night. But this is something, the spirit that's in the brothers and sisters in here is that we want something more. Hold your peace real quick. I remember my ribs was saying that her mom, I think her mom told me that, like, when she was a kid, they sent them to school, and the school was like asking them, it was culture day. And, tell us about your culture, your history, and blah, blah, blah. You know, the Filipinos, they got all, we're going to eat lumpia and what's the other stuff they call boya or something with a, I can't remember. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But all that, they got, the Filipinos got that. You know what I'm saying? Other cultures got it, they got this, that. She's like, damn, what history I'm going to tell them? Slavery? You know what I mean? Like, this is it. We just talk about slavery. And it's like, in her mind, she's like, damn, I didn't want to tell her to go and say anything because it's like embarrassing. But if you don't have the full story before slavery, then you have more. You know what I mean? We do have a culture. The Samoans, they come wearing they skirts. You know what I'm saying? This is a Samoan, 6'5", 250. But when somebody died, they come put the skirts on. They come hula hooping and all that. You know what I mean? Like, they still have something to go back to. But we don't have that day. We don't have that time. Not when somebody dies, not when somebody is born, not nothing. Every time, our whole culture is like their culture. We celebrate Christmas when they celebrate Christmas. We celebrate Thanksgiving when we do Easter when they do Easter. Everything that we do is what they do. 4th of July, etc. We need something outside of that. And that's, it's very powerful. You know what I mean? But do you remember what you was going to say?
No, you kind of covered it.
No sweat. All right, let's go to what did I pull? Say Jeremiah 10.
10:2.
Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the sight of the heathen. For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So, that's their customs and their culture is to look up in the stars and astrology and all those other weird things and all that. But the main point of this precept is not to learn the way of the heathen, not to be like them. Give me Job chapter 9, verse 24. I'm not going to hold y'all. Maybe like 3 more minutes. We'll close out at 9:20.
Job verse 9, sir?
Chapter 9, yep, and verse 20.
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24.
Yep.
The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
Right.
He covered the face of the judges. Therefore, if not, where and who is he?
Right. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. No one can deny who was running planet Earth. We see what happened to Gaddafi. America knocked him down. Saddam Hussein, America knocked him down. China tried to do some, America knocked him. Cuba, Venezuela, any other nation to try to stand up. America, the Edomites, these oppressors, Europeans. Y'all know they took Hong Kong from China. You heard about that? The Opium War, they took the whole city from Chinese people for 100 years. You know what I mean? And made money and profit off of that. Like, no one has been able to fight them. The earth has been given into the hands of the Africans. they talk about the Holocaust. I think one of them oppressors from the Dutch, he killed like 10 million Hamites. They never talk about that. I think his name was Leopold or something like that. Y'all look that up. You talk about African Holocaust. Some devil came down there and killed like 10 million Hamites, and no one ever says nothing about it. Everybody want to shed tears for these small hats. But the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. There's only one nation of people that is living and operating like that. Go ahead, sis.
Can't remember the gentleman's name, if you can help me on this.
Mhm.
But the gentleman that brought a whole bunch of Christians to a different city or like state, he built like his own town. He was like a serial killer and had everybody. Jim Jones.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and remember, he was a Christian. So, to me, like, it just shows you how much influence the Christian society has when it comes to, like, people that are unaware and how powerful what they say can be. I watched the documentary recently, and it was really, it was shocking to me, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that parents were giving their kids these pills and just killing all these people. It was
Right.
They say that somebody had that much power.
Mm-hmm. And he was a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Christian.
Yep.
And y'all know who the majority of the people that was with Jim Jones, right?
God.
What was it?
Israel.
Israel, blacks.
Yep.
So-called Judite. Judite, so-called Negroes, right? He done took a gang of us down there. Even more evil. You know what I mean? Like, why he didn't have a bunch of oppressors with him?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he wanted to take us with him and get us to kill ourselves, kill our children. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
You just brought something back to me. I was going to Laney, taking African American studies.
Mm-hmm.
We covered this in African American studies. And this OG guy, man, that older guy, you know, he was talking at first, but once we started getting deep into it, he shut down and started crying. We heard him weeping in the back.
Damn.
So the teacher like, man, what's wrong? Why are you crying?
Right.
And he just stand up and he was like, man, you know, I was a part of that.
Damn.
He was like, you know what I mean? He gave a whole, like, we thought we knew what happened.
Right.
He was telling us, like, no, it wasn't like that. It was a whole line of people. And then once people start seeing people drop like flies and they dropping it, and then people start saying, hold on, man, something wrong. They want to run the other way.
They put guns on them.
Chopping them down while they're running that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, they sold everything believing that this oppression. I mean, people were selling their homes.
Right.
Not selling them, matter of fact, they were selling them, but giving it to him.
Right, signing it over, right.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was a straight pastor, reading the Bible.
John 3:16.
Yeah, exactly. I almost want to get it. I mean, give it a hand for your breakdown, but not for what this devil was doing. This is sick, you know what I'm saying? It is evil, man. He really used that. He used those precepts to do that. And that's why they say, man, it's a thin line between, you know what I mean, love and hate, good and evil. It's so close, and they use what's righteous for evil and destroy so many people's lives. And that's why I get it why a lot of our people wanted to become Muslims and become the Nation of Islam, because they wanted to get away from this thing that's been destroying us, because they knew something was wrong with it intuitively. But Commander Yohana said, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's not the book that's evil. It's not Christ that's evil. It's the men that have hijacked Christ and have hijacked the book and taught it this way. You know what I'm saying? We take the same book and save brothers' lives all over this place. He took the same book and went to Panama, South America, somewhere, and killed everybody. You know what I mean? But yeah. And Jim Jones, I don't know why that rapper, man, took his name either, man. That's crazy. But right. But this is the dude too, Leopold II of Belgium. Under his regime, millions of Congolese inhabitants, including children, were mutilated, killed, or died from disease and famine. In addition, the birth rate rapidly declined during this period. Estimates for the total population decline range from 1 million to 15 million, with a consensus growing around 10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we always go to the higher. If they saying, some people saying 15 million, and some people only saying 1 million, but they said we're gonna land at 10 million to say it. We all think about 10 million. It's probably about 20 million. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how he is, and that's how he gets down, man. But we can't partake. The earth, once again, the earth is given in the hand of the wicked. This is the wicked. These are the type of men, you know what I mean, that are ruling the earth. And if it's not them, then who else is it? And so to try to do anything like them is like insanity. It's really insane to think that we should do anything. Like, I'm just saying the same thing too. Like, why would you want to even be a part of that? Like, and that's why Christ was a revolutionary. He was a radical. He was saying things that everyone knew was right, but people were scared and didn't know how to do what he was saying do. He was like, yeah, these Romans are evil. They didn't just take over in a nice way. The Romans were murderers. That's what I'm saying. Like, go watch you a mafia movie to get the spirit of the people that don't think about the Passion of Christ. Even that though, they kind of showed the spirit of them in the Passion of Christ when they was whipping the Edomite. They was spitting and drinking and drunk and they was having fun. They count them out. Think to that, you know what I mean? He got caught one time and he laughing, you know what I mean? Like, that's like the Italians, them Goombas or whatever they call them, guineas. They just, you know what I'm saying? And they cut off his fingers, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, poke his eyes out. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? And give me some more Strombolis. Like, that's the spirit of the Romans. It wasn't this dignified, just marching people. They was in order, but they was in order to do savagery. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. It just kind of reminds me of the movie Scarface.
Right.
Because, he felt like he dominated the world. He had the world. And he had everything at his fingertips, as he said.
Right.
But at the end, what happened? He ended up passing away. Because somebody that he wasn't paying attention to took him out.
Right. That's going to be the Most High in Christ, man. That's what's going to happen, man. This is what is important, what we do. And I'm not going to hold us too much longer. If anything else, just so you can have this in your precepts, you get 1 Corinthians 6:2. And then 2 more, just do 3. I'm not really going to break them down too much, man. Y'all stop me if I keep going too much, man. 1 Corinthians 6:2.
Six and 2, sir?
Yep. Right, and the last one in Job, it said the judges of the world, they cover it up. Mm-hmm. And who are the judges of the world? Man, we are supposed to be the judges of the world.
Right.
Let's go ahead.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 2. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matter?
Right, like we are supposed to be leaders in this place, so we can't fight each other over small issues and not be able to solve our own problems amongst ourselves. The context of this story is that the Israelites that were supposed to be in the truth, these brothers that were following Paul and Peter, they were having issues with each other instead of taking each other to counsel and solving it. Oh, this brother owed me $20. They calling the police on the brother. You know what I'm saying? Instead of fixing it themselves. We're supposed to judge the whole world. We can't judge a small matter between brothers. You know what I mean? So these oppressors, they cover the faces of the judges. They're all like, we're going to exact judgment over all nations. We're going to be getting the reports. This is going on over here. This is what needs to happen over there. So in order for us to do that, we just have to be righteous and be on point. And we have to obey the laws. It's the difference between our kingdom and their kingdom. Right. Their kingdom, you can be a judge and send someone to jail for selling cocaine and then leave and go buy cocaine.
Right.
You can send someone to jail for being a prostitute and then leave jail and the same judge buys prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? Being Israelite, the Lord, we're building the kingdom of heaven, of God. You see what I'm saying? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. We got to rule what the Lord wants us to do. And we can't be hypocrites in this thing. So that's why it's important for us, you know what I mean? In order for us to do this job, we can't have that culture of the wicked. You know what I mean? You had something to say?
No, what you said was just head on, because I was just thinking about R. Kelly. I'm like, they did all that, talking about he sleeping with underage girls and all that. They the same judges who convicted him was found out Weinstein.
Right. Right. They going on Epstein Island, yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
And that's why we can't be like them. We got to be better than them.
Right.
And that's the other thing, too. You know, that argument they always say, well, Elvis did it. Why R. Kelly got to get in trouble? R. Kelly going to get in trouble because he's a nigga.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can't steal. Well, Joe Biden steal. I should be able to know, nigga, you a nigga. And the Lord loves niggas. And he loves Hispanics, you know what I'm saying? And you got to be right, you know what I'm saying? You got to be better than them. Don't be like them, be better than them. What's that? You know, my favorite line from Friday when she tried to say something. He said, "Oh, don't be sorry, be better." You know what I mean? Like, nigga, we need to stop all this pitting all the time. That's that Christian spirit. Like, don't be sorry, be better. Change, you know what I mean? Like, stop doing that. You know what I mean? But somebody. Okay. Where we at? So boom, we knocked that one down. Let's go two more. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 4. Yep. This is another one of my favorite precepts, as I say sometimes.
So I guess you said 2 Timothy verse 3. Chapter 3, verse 4.
Yep. Wow, good shot.
The book of 2 Timothy,
right?
Chapter 3, verse 4. Traitors, petty.
Matter of fact, go up a little bit higher. Go to 2. Matter of fact, start at verse 1. So like,
Come. The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Verse 2. For man shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy.
Right. So in the last days, it's going to be hard times that are going to come. And these are the things that are going to happen. This is how you know you're in the last days. And these are the things that we see right now. You know what I mean? Lovers of their own selves. Like, that sounds like a selfie to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You go on TikTok and I've seen some of these females on there and everything. And it's like, man, I was watching, I think I clicked on TikTok, some sister last night. She was just like, yeah, I'm 20. You know, I'm young. I ain't worried about no husband or whatever. That's fine. She said she want to do her own business and all that. That's fine. You young, you want to start your own businesses and do that. That's fine. You don't have to be married at that age. But she just was like talking in a way like, you know, she said, our mothers, they was dumb. They just because you married some nigga and was living with him for your whole life, you was dumb. My grandmothers, they was married to some bum ass nigga and living with him for their whole life. We're not gonna be doing that. Like, she is a lover of herself. Like, she thinks that your life was bad because it was hard. I'm not saying this is a glorious life. Yeah, it was struggle. She thinking that's that's what makes it wrong. And if she can go live and party and turn up for her life, it's better than hers. Exactly. But there's no substance in that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not evil to sacrifice and care about other people. This now they've made it evil to do that because we're lovers of ourselves. And somebody blow my mind. Who is known for being lovers of themselves?
The oppressors.
Damn right. That's the go-to. You pay attention to the class tonight. The oppressors are selfish. I don't know what's the word. I forget the word they call it. Like narcissist. What you say? Go ahead. Niggas, huh? They the real niggas, huh? They the niggers. Yeah, that too. You that brother. the definition of that, you know what I'm saying? We the real niggas, but they the ignorant, selfish, greedy bastards. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact of them, I think the word is narcissistic. They like love themselves more than they're willing to hurt other people to protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't care about it. And that's how a lot of these youngsters are. That's what the Instagram and all this social media it does. It makes you love yourself more than others. So read verse 2 again. Just think about TikTok. Think about rap music. And when you hear these words, just think about the culture of how it's come. We're not just going to blame the youngsters, but it's like getting where it does seem like it's getting worse in a lot of ways. Go ahead.
Verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boosters,
boasters,
like
boasting and bragging, right?
Boasters, proud.
You had an abortion, you proud of it. They gonna make a rap video with the girl in the abortion clinic,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Blasphemers.
I don't believe in God. I don't believe in nothing. The black woman is God. I'm a goddess. Right. I'm a god. You know what I'm saying? Blasphemers. Keep going.
God, disobedient to parents.
Yep.
Unthankful.
Good night.
Unholy.
Keep going.
Verse 3. Without natural affection.
Right. What's natural affection? You right?
Oh man, that's the LGBTYZ.
Right. It's not natural.
Right.
That affection is not natural. It's natural as a man and a woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A woman and a man. It's unnatural for the opposite. You know what I mean? I'm too out. The water. You know what I mean? That's unnatural, right? That's what's going to be happening in the last days. Keep going.
Truce breakers. False accusers.
Damn. Lying on brothers. Sisters lying on brothers. Brothers lying on sisters. Truce breakers. They say we're going to be peace and there's no peace. Keep going.
Incontinent?
Yeah. Like you've heard like with a bowel movement, they say you're incontinent, like not solid. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Incontinent, you're not solid. You know what I'm saying? You keep going. Yeah, these cats is not solid. They don't stand on nothing.
I'm using that in the right.
Yeah.
So incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
Like, damn, they hate us.
Right.
This is we are hated. Family members will turn on you, will be mad that you're doing this. That you keep the Passover, you don't show up to Christmas. You don't show up to my birthday, and you are the evil one now. You stop selling drugs. Go ahead, sis. She about to give a testimony. She about to come before the altar.
I'm new to the truth.
Right on.
So I've been actually experiencing it right now, where my family is kind of like, oh, we have our birthday coming up, and are you gonna come out? And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna come out, sis. Right. And it's just like, oh, so you just gonna change your whole thought process and do this and do this because of what you think you believe now? Right. But they don't understand it. But I'm starting to understand, and I know it's not starting to understand. I know that their opinion, not being rude, doesn't matter to me.
Damn right.
Because I'm staying solid on what I believe in, and this is what I believe in.
Yeah, right, man. And that's the spirit of the Lord. That's the Holy Spirit right there, man. That's something to be praised and be honored because we got to care about what the Lord thinks, and it ain't just what Kassar thinks. It ain't what Uriah thinks. It ain't what Karak or Captain Kwam or any brothers in the truth. Commander Juliana thinks. We do this because of the Lord. We believe the Lord, the Most High, wants us to be this way. And if that's what we're doing it for, then what this person says or that person says don't matter. Matter of fact, give me that precept for me in my house. You know what I'm saying? If you can find it in your phone. It's a Joshua 10, somewhere in there. So like, you want me to find it for you?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the spirit we gotta be in. And it's always been like that. People will hate you for this. But in class, I don't know if you saw that on Monday. I think the sister was asking, she was like, my daughter is having this event, a christening. Did anybody see that one?
I didn't see that.
Okay, you saw that part, right?
I didn't see that.
Right. So General Muhammad, she asked General Muhammad, she says, my daughter is gonna christen the baby. And is it okay for me to go to that? He was like, no, that's unlawful because christenings are tied to Christianity, worshiping another God. A baby shower is lawful. There's no history of people worshiping other gods with baby showers. There's no history of gender reveal and that, you know what I mean? It's lawful for us to do that. But when you go to Valentine's Day, that has a history of worshiping another God. And that's what showed me the truth too, because I thought we couldn't have baby showers when I first came into the school.
Right.
And I heard the breakdown, I'm like, yeah, okay, we can. Like, we're not doing some spooky, crazy things. We're just saying, man, do you know 4th of July is about worshiping another God? The Christmas is really about worshiping another God. Your birthday is about worshiping another God yourself. We don't do that because we only worship one God. You know what I mean? But these other things we are allowed to do. But anyway, she was like, well, what do I tell my daughter that I'm not going to come to this thing? He asked her, he said, did you tell her about the Passover? She was like, come on, sir. He was like, you invited her? She was like, come on, sir. He's like, did she come? She was like, He's like, okay, that's your answer then. You know what I'm saying? You invite them to come to our things, they will not come here. She's like, go ahead, come it up. You invite them to come to our events to do what we do, they will not show up. But when they ask us to come to their things, they want you to show up. That's because Christians, as bad as they are, they really love their God.
Right.
That's what we have to learn how to be like them in that instance, that they will fight you tooth and nail to come worship their God. But when you say, come with me, they, hell no, I ain't coming to that. I ain't showing up to that weird, I got all these weird outfits on. I ain't going to that cult. Damn all that. But we feel bad to tell them no, to not go to their thing. We got to feel the same way we fight for our God, the same way they'll fight for your God. There are women that have taken their children away because their husband won't celebrate a birthday. They love their God so much that you can't see your son because of a birthday. You can't see your son because of a Christmas. Imagine if we had that same zeal. Imagine if we had that love for our God the way they do for their God. You know what I'm saying? We'll raise up this whole nation, man. Go ahead.
Come contrary. The book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15.
Right.
And if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord.
Right. If it seems evil for you to serve the Lord. One more time.
The book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord.
To keep the feast of Purim.
To serve the Lord.
To keep the feast of dedication.
To serve the Lord.
The Day of Atonement.
To serve the Lord.
The feast of unleavened bread.
Choose ye this
one more
day
now to serve the Lord.
To serve the Lord.
To keep the Passover. One more time.
To serve the Lord.
If it seems evil for you to do these things, keep going.
Choose you this day whom ye will serve.
Right, go ahead. You want to keep Thanksgiving then. Keep Christmas, keep Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? If that's working for you, shalom, Most High in Christ. That's working for you. You're on weed. You understand what I'm saying? You're on your third abortion. You know what I mean? You got your baby father on child support. You're on your third, fifth baby father. Yeah, this is working for you. Christianity is working for you. You in and out of prison. You just got out of prison. You believe in Jesus. You going back to prison.
Right.
You went into prison. Not as I said, as a Christian, you left as a Muslim. You go back as a Muslim. If Islam is working for you, Keep doing it.
Right.
That's what you want to do. Do it. Do more of it. Keep going.
Come, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood.
Right, the other side of the flood. The people that were before Noah, they worship all these other gods. You want to follow them? Go ahead. Keep going.
Come. Or the gods of the Amorites, in which land ye dwell.
Right, so now we coming into the so-called promised land. Now we're in the land of the Amorites. You want to follow the gods of the people we just destroyed? We just knocked down the walls of Jericho. You want to follow the gods of them? Go ahead. Keep going.
Come. But as for me and my house,
Read.
We will serve the Lord.
That's it right there, man. We're going to keep doing this thing. Y'all going to keep doing that thing. You're not going to make me feel bad about doing what you're doing when I see what the result of what you're doing is.
Right.
That's it. Like it is just seeing the results of Christianity can remind you and wake you up when they try to make you feel bad about not doing it. It's like, I know what's going on and I see what's going on, and I can just I ain't gonna try to be too descriptive, but I know some people that are close to some people that I know, and they kids and they children is dealing with this and that, boyfriend, and you getting this disease from him, you giving this disease to him, and this and that, and all this, and y'all Christian. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a sad existence, and you feel bad for them, but we're weird and we're wrong. You see what I'm saying? Right. But this thing that we're building, that Passover, seeing all of us on one accord and just seeing it, just imagine it getting bigger and greater. This is wrong and evil. If that is what it is, then I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying? That's what the cult leader is about. Like, they called us a cult for so many years. You believe about some Edomite coming down your chimney and eating your cookies, pause. But you know what I'm saying? But we do this and we're crazy. We're in a cult. You talking about bunnies and rabbits, we're in a cult. Damn it, F it, we'll be in a cult then.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Salaki, I gotta get my Jimmy Hunter on for a second. He was federal on Black Watch the other day. Well, damn it, F that, then we're gonna be in a cult then, nigga. That's what we are, that's what we're gonna be, nigga. We'll be that. We're cult leaders, matter of fact.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? If this is wrong, then we don't want to be right.
Right.
But yeah, that's it on that. Akwati, you had anything you want to say that's too wild, but where we at? Second Timothy. That's pretty much it. Matter of fact, go a little bit further. Let's go to verse 4 for 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 4. I done kept y'all longer again, man. So
wow, 2 Timothy verse 3.
Chapter 3, verse 4.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 4. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High.
Right.
Verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, for such turn away. Yeah,
from such turn away. These type of people, everything that was listed on here, they have a form of godliness. Like, you have a power. You go on all these influencers, and you're like, God damn, everybody's house is nice. Everybody's car is nice. They get money. You like, damn, what are they doing? They have a form of godliness, but they evil. You know what I'm saying? It's like, from them, turn away. Don't let that fool you and make you think they're right because they have these things, man. Read verse 6.
Come, verse 6. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captivity silly women, laden with sin, led away with devious lust. Right,
with divers lust, right. So for this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lust. Like, these are the type of men or people that come in and finesse silly women. But it's it's all, you know, the Bible is 2, 3, 4. Like when you living like this as a man, you acting like a silly woman. If you let a nigga come in and tell you to sell this pack, and now you in prison for 20 years,
Right.
he didn't finesse you out your life. You know what I'm saying? Like you just seen a rapper brag about a VVS chain, and now you are in prison, nigga. You a silly woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good. You know what I mean? Like don't be that. Don't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how a lot of sisters get finesse too. They following this nigga because he got this and he got that, and they end up in a bad situation.
Right.
And so that's what the Bible's saying. Like these type of people don't be like that. But that's the type that is growing. All of that is getting greater in the last days, and that's because we get more into the culture of the heathens. Like even, you know, the rapper Exodus, whatever his name is, Hella X is his name. I don't even know if y'all know he Tentacion. That he was like a heathen in his culture. The blonde dreads, rock and roll eyeliner, and black this, and you know what I'm saying? He was doing rock and roll music basically. He was pushing that culture more, and like the people that listen to that music could commit suicide because they like the oppressor. Like that wasn't normal to us back then, but now these kids are committing suicide because they listen to this type of music because he listened to Edomite music. You know what I mean? So the more and more we get in that culture, niggas wearing black fingernail paintings and color, you know what I'm saying? That's because y'all see the Lil Uzi Vert picture? But the nigga had, oh no, it was Lil Pump. He had another one. Showed my rib in the hospital the other day. This nigga was wearing a shirt, jacket, and nails painted and whatever. You know what I mean? They're just trying to be like Edomite. So we can't follow the culture of the wicked. We got to get back to our culture. Long story short, I mean, you know what I mean? Keep going. But last few statements and we'll close the class out.
If I may, sir, I was showing my rib watching the Drink Champs or Drink Champs or something like that. Snoop Dogg had his nails painted.
Yeah. On that episode?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He had his nails painted, sir. It kept just coming out like orange or something. I didn't want to believe it at first.
Right.
Yeah. He had his nails painted.
How long ago was this? It was
recent.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know he did it once before with the black and white, and cats got on him, but
All black.
he did it with the black.
He had it.
Yeah, man. Hold on, if I may, give it up for Officer I'm one real quick. Man, this brother had me rolling. This is a famous quote I got from this brother right here. We was living in San Francisco from camp one time, and we seen this older Negro that was just flaming LGBT. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nigga, you too old to be gay. That's it. He's a nigga, you know what I mean? He telling me in the car, he didn't yell out the car. And we're like, damn, nigga, you too old to be gay. Like, what is you doing? You know what I mean? That's not even part of that generation.
Exactly.
And it's like, for Snoop, that's how I feel about that. Like, you too old to be doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not even, you know, that's not the culture that you grew up with.
Right.
You know, that's not what the OGs taught you. Like, your OGs is real OGs, nigga. You 50. Your OGs is 70 and 80 plus.
Right.
And you know, ain't no 80-year-old niggas was standing for that. 70-year-old niggas that was older than you did not teach you this. You trying to keep up with these youngsters and doing something weird.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like,
no, that's heavy, sir.
yeah, that's how I'm one. Go ahead, sis. You forgot.
Like
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if you guys remember that rocker back in the day, Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
He used to always have his nails painted.
Right.
He had one eye blue, one brown. But you know, I feel like that got pushed in our culture
Right.
a lot.
Yep.
You know, unfortunately.
And that's who I was gonna say. The XXXTentacion dude was following Marilyn Manson. I think Lil Uzi Vert says that his favorite artist is Marilyn Manson.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said that in a lot of interviews, man. And let me see.
That's terrible. You know, Marilyn Manson was a Christian.
He became one recently, but before, if you go look, I was gonna look at videos of him back. You know what I'm saying? He used to be at his shows setting the Bible on fire. He used to be, you know what I mean, coming with upside down crosses and all of that. But now I don't know why he's becoming a Christian, but I think it's always a hustle with them devils. I think he got caught up in some type of sexual abuse charges, and so now he's trying to become Christian to get away from that. You know what I mean? So it's always something with these devils. Like he's not really, for one, you know what I mean. He don't care about this book. But go ahead, sis. Last thing we're gonna close out.
I was just gonna say back in the day, I saw a documentary about him, and both his parents were Christians. So
Right.
he said he hated Christian people
Right.
in general when he was younger. But as he got older, he started like becoming Christian,
Right.
and now he is Christian.
Right.
Just put that out there.
That's the new hustle to be even more evil. Shalom Yahweh Shabbat the Officer Nadazah. Shalom Yahweh Shemar Thaba Shem Shai to the sister S. Ross. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But what was you gonna say?
Translating what she said,
Mhm.
that nigga hated his parents.
Right.
So, like,
But then he started to realize that the real path is to doing what they doing. Like
exactly.
that's how I feel about Black China right now. Like it's good in a certain extent that she is saying OnlyFans is wrong and all this, but I think her mind state, honestly, unless she eventually finds a way to the truth, my thing is it sounds like she found a bigger hustle. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of these cats that leave the streets and go mace, become a pastor. You find a bigger hustle. You're like, okay, yeah, it's good money being a rock star, but it's more money being a Christian. It's good money being on OnlyFans, but it's more money being the only Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do Jesus OnlyFans. You know what I mean? OnlyFans for Jesus, for white Jesus. Like
If I may, though, sir, just real quick, isn't it more lucrative for certain people to promote that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's probably making it seem like though it's not something she's for, even though she's supporting those things.
right,
But to promote it gets endorsements, like Nick Cannon.
right,
I tagged Nick Cannon 50 times in that DEF CON 4. I'm tagging him.
right,
I mean, just because it would be good to see him acknowledge, the Adawan Natazal to bring him on Wild 'N Out.
right, right,
You know, that's me though. You know what
right.
I mean, just bring the brother on Wild 'N Out and have what's his name? What's the either my name? Have that.
Oh yeah, I forget his name. What's his name? Something kosher deals or whatever. Yeah.
Have him on that Wild 'N Out.
Right.
Not today. Let them go at it then.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what Judah, that's what the world want to see.
Right.
But because you don't got the kahunas, like my Issachar brothers would say,
Right.
you know what I mean? And it's just you're promoting something for your own benefit.
Right. And so like the sister over here got me rolling too. She was like, I don't know, I think she's talking about Marilyn Manson or some of these other cats. She's like, I think once a man is gay, he's always gay. It's in him, Paul. So I'm just saying, like, yeah, I feel you, sis. Like, hey, man, that's a hard line to cross. We know Christ said you can become a new creature in all things, but you're gonna have to be a new creature online. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you in the ranks like it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? That's a hard demon to deal with. That shit's something other. That's another demon. That's another demon. You know what I'm saying?
One more time.
Yeah, I couldn't stop smoking weed. I can't imagine nigga at the house crying like, man, I can't stop doing right. God damn, nigga. That's a hell of a demon. So like it. Jesus Christ.
The TikTok I made when the dude was like, I don't like you as a Christian.
Yeah, I saw that. Y'all niggas, we're gonna have to end this class. We're gonna clip our whole page. Man, but Most High Christ, we all covered. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Please go give us a salute, you know what I mean? Just give us a courtesy salute to the teacher and to the sisters. We can do it like that. You stay seated first.
Man of Israel, Majah, which means to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Man of Israel, Majah Shabbat, Majah Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Thumb.
That's a matah. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Sisters, if you may stand. We're going to turn to the sisters, which means sar, which means turn. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Mazal Shabbat, Mazal, Barak.
Yahweh Shema Thumb by Shem Yahshua.
Yahweh Shamar, Alatham, Hashem, Yahshua.
That was a matah. Dismissed.
Shalom, sis. Shalom, sis. All right.